5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Go get 'em, Tiger. Roar! I am nature's greatest miracle!
Welcome to Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts, a Simpsons review podcast. I am your lovable nerd Snerts, aka Joshua Stearns, and joining me is the equally delightful Robin. Don't have a cow. Cower!
Hey, Joshua Stearns, how are you, my friend?
I am doing well. I had a lovely trip to Victoria, British Columbia with my family.
Right. With the
and
fam.
It was really cool. I got to hang out with my siblings and cousins and get to see my mom and my aunt. And I got to meet new people as well. Cousin May was Aunt Eileen's first child, but she was put up for adoption because she was very, very young when she had her.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, there's been a reconciliation, and I got to meet her husband and their child, as well as their grandma as well. So it was kind of neat learning more about the extended family that's sort of new in my experiences. And we were also dorky that we decided to recreate a cousin's photo that we had from the 90s as adults. And I have to say, it came out perfect. And you can't see this at home, kids, but like I recently shaved my head pretty damn close. And it was hilarious because I have the exact same haircut in the photo from the 90s. So I was getting ripped on because I'm encouraging people to make fun of me because this wasn't planned. This was like a drastic thing that happened. And so like both my sisters were on point. Like my youngest sister, Sam, is like, you look like you just finished your apprenticeship to become an electrician. And then my middle sister, Tessa, is like, your little thing at the top looks like the poop emoji.
Oh no!
And then
for y'all, if you don't know Josh, he has beautiful hair. He has golden locks.
Usually, I like to have those locks fairly long.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they get that little wave to them and everything. Yeah, Josh has great hair. Was this? Did you ask for this and they just didn't do it the way you wanted, or did they mess it up and you just had to shave it because somebody gave you a bad haircut?
So I wanted to get it was because it was the latter. It's because I got a bad haircut. I didn't like the way it looked. I actually got a photo from Steve at his board game barbecue party, and it had me in it, and I didn't like the way it looked. It was all uneven. It was all over the place. It didn't like comb to the side. Like I like the Conan O'Brien type of haircut, you know, and it wasn't that. So I just like woke up the next morning and I'm like, fuck this shit.
There you go.
And
I've been dealing with that lately too, where my haircuts have been just off, and I've been going to the same lady since I moved back to Atlanta.
Well, and Delvin had a great joke too, man. He's like, you look like an adult Bobby Hill. I don't know you.
Bobby.
Don't you take my purse.
I don't know you. This flower is wilting.
Right. And one more thing, like it was really cool to like celebrate Canada Day while in Canada, and we had a really good seat for the fireworks. And then it was 4th of July this week as well, the same week we were recording here. And so I got to see fireworks in LA and I got to see fireworks in Victoria. How was your 4th of July?
It was great. By the way, that's pretty amazing about your cousin, your adopted cousin, getting to reconcile.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Build that family back up, which is, you know,
and she lives in your neck of the woods too. They're all from Atlanta.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, it was a big week, you know, so I'm a little bit worn out after being so social all week. But it was wonderful. I had a 4th of July at my friend's parents' house. They have a beautiful place here in Atlanta with a pool, and got to hang out with kind of my chosen family there, which was just lovely, and swim the pool. My friend was in town from San Diego with his kids who were like nephews to me, and we got to, you know, play in the pool and have a blast. So it was a really lovely 4th of July. We set off some just absolutely mediocre fireworks that were 6 years old apparently and fizzled out. But it was a great time.
Well, right on. Yeah, it sounds like we both had most excellent weeks with friends and family. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, if this is your first episode of Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts, welcome. We're glad you're here. And here is how it works. One of us will pick an episode of The Simpsons to discuss. We go through the plot, provide questionable impressions, and sometimes no impressions at all. And we also point out our favorite bits. This time I picked from season 2, episode 2, Simpson and Delilah, directed by Richard Moore, written by John Vitti, first air date of October 18th, 1990. And I picked this episode because it is fabulous. I really enjoy the story. Harvey Firestein playing Carl is one of the best guest characters they
Love
have in
Harvey
the early
Firestein.
couple
Yeah.
seasons here. Do you remember this episode watching it when it came out, or was this something that you came back to when it was more in reruns?
That's an interesting question. I remember it vividly, but it could have been in reruns. I think that I got into The Simpsons pretty quickly, but this is early. This is the season 2, and so I don't recall if I saw this when it initially aired, but it's likely. But since then, I've probably seen it, 5 or 10 times.
Yeah, so when I started to get the DVD box sets, and season 2 was the second one that came out because they were doing them in sequential order. And I remember watching this episode on that and very heavily because there's just
Mm-hmm.
something about it. It's not the most joke packed episode, but it has like a lot of heart. And
Mm-hmm.
I just, we were talking about this before recording that like everybody could use a Carl in their corner.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about going above and beyond anything I would ever do for another human being. And I'm talking about people in my immediate family.
Well, that's it. I mean, we're talking about just, it's about having somebody in your corner, somebody who makes you feel better about yourself than you make yourself feel, and boosting you and making you yeah, feel great about who you are.
Yeah, and Harvey Firestein just kills it in this role. He does
I
such a
love
great
Harvey
job.
Firestein. I mean, he's a New York classic. Was just watching Independence Day the other
Same here.
day.
Same here.
Had a,
Yep.
had a
Of course.
great, Harvey role.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
know,
I mean,
oh, I should call my mother and my
he's a
lawyer.
legend.
Maybe not my lawyer. He's also in
I gotta
Mrs.
call my
Doubtfire.
therapist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Because
forgot about that. I haven't seen that in a long time. I love that. Yeah, he's great in
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh
So that's
no, you can't wear
That's
that.
where I always remember him from. And it wasn't until I was much, much older that I realized that he was the voice of Carl, even though it's the exact same goddamn voice that he does for everything.
Oh, it's so good.
Nice. Well, let's get into our early segment, Behind the Wiki. Wick,
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 wick, wick,
wiki. Wick,
wick,
wick, wick, wick, wick, wick, wick, wick.
Wiki.
So Homer's hair product, Dimoxinil, is a spoof of a similar product, Minoxidil, which is basically Rogaine, right?
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
my,
It's exactly what it is. In fact.
So because Homer had hair, they really played with the animation style, and this is something I actually didn't pick up to until it was pointed out. And I was like, "Oh yeah, his hair is different in every scene." So it starts
Yeah.
off really long, then we get like a small '70s afro fro, and then basically like they kind of go through various decades, not in sequential order, but
Right.
various different decades of hairstyles, and Homer has it all by the end. And by the end, he kind of looks like who was that guy
Don
from?
Johnson
Yeah, like
from
American
Miami Vice.
Psycho. The guy.
Oh yeah.
God, he played Batman too, and now that my brain is just going.
I know we had this problem before the episode. It is Christian
Bale, Christian Bale.
Bale.
Thank you. And in the end, Homer's final look was actually an inspiration from Miami Vice, which was a huge TV show in the 80s that was basically like a music video with him driving around Miami and solving crimes.
Yeah, he had it like slicked back down to the shoulders. Very, very Don Johnson like. It is
Yeah.
great.
So, in contrast to Albert Brooks, Dustin Hoffman, and Michael Jackson, who did not allow their real names to be used, of course, Brooks later did. Harvey was one of the very few guest stars who was not embarrassed or reluctant to be associated with the show and welcomed his name in the credits. So
All right.
and I think he's like kind of like, the one was showing people like, hey, look, it's not so bad after all. I still can get work in this town, even though I did a cartoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess it wasn't. It didn't really get to be what The Simpsons is until kind of later in this season. Like it was already doing well, but it's interesting.
But Michael Jackson was season 3, episode 1.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's still are kind of people aren't really sure about it. Some are, some aren't.
yeah.
And I think
And they're
it's more like,
definitely controversial.
I think by season like 4 or 5 is when people were like, no, I want to be on The Simpsons.
Well, and it coincides with the time when the writers are like, we can basically do anything we want.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so this episode features a kiss between Homer and Carl, which occurred a decade prior to the U.S. television's first real man-on-man kiss on Dawson's Creek. And then in the episode, Carl is implied to be a homosexual
Wait,
creator. Wait.
Hold on. You
Was
said
there
a decade earlier?
prior?
No. Dawson's Creek wasn't on in the 80s.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, this is what happens when you copy paste directly from Wikipedia.
Here, I'm gonna
Because
look
it
it up.
says decade
You
prior.
keep going on, and I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I think they mean like a decade later, right? Like the early 2000s?
Yes, 98.
98. So that would have
Yeah,
been like 8 years later.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So
whoever did this Wikipedia article, shame on you. Shame.
screw that person. Fuck that
Yeah.
guy.
All right. So
I
there
mean,
is
it's a big deal.
no, it is absolutely, and thank you for pointing that out. I also didn't even bother to look up if this was even accurate, so there could have been another male and male kiss happening earlier.
You're not the sharpest today, Josh. We're just gonna have to acknowledge that, listeners. This is what you're getting from Josh.
They
and I
know I
today.
do basic research. It's like basically my this is my research technique. Control
You do
C,
research?
Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
Control C,
Yeah.
Control V. Research
Yep.
done.
I mean, wikis are always 100% accurate.
Sure.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Just like there are no animation errors in television
Mhm.
shows. All the animation is on purpose. All right. So basically, there's a lot of questions back then. Is Carl gay? Like, I think it's pretty obvious that he is, in my opinion.
It's Harvey Firestein. Of
Right.
course he's gay.
Exactly, because Harvey has been out of the closet for many, many, many years.
Josh, you look wonderful in that t-shirt you're wearing.
Very good. And so, basically, Groening said, he's whatever you want him to be. However, he does kiss Homer. He does give him a nice pat on the butt, which is beyond what any other cartoon had done at the time.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, look, he kisses him on the lips. They said the first animated kiss. I don't know what the first kiss would have been.
Sure.
We'll have to look that up at some point. But yeah, flat out kisses him. And again, like we talked about in the very last episode, like Homer doesn't shy away. Instead, he's like kind of like,
yeah, Carl.
and that's a huge deal with what was going on in 1990. Like I was, coming of age in 1990, and I had a really, really horrible time because it was a huge joke for kids to
Yes.
be gay. I mean,
Yes.
you were just the fucking butt of every joke, and so
And not in a fun way.
not in a fun way. But the amount of kind of having to code switch and adjust to be something else is a big deal. It was a
And we
big
were
deal to
still
have
dealing
this.
with things like the AIDS crisis,
Oh, absolutely. And the stigma involved there,
Right,
big
right.
time, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Last little wiki fact I have here from my Control C, Control V research. The episode's title is a play on the biblical story of Samson, an Israelite who was a judge with superhuman strength, but he lost all of it when his long hair was cut, which is similar to kind of like Homer. When he has hair, everything's going his way. When he doesn't have the hair, he's back to being a lovable loser of a dog.
Well, it's a cautionary tale, Josh, about sex, because what happens is Delilah lures him and it gets into his tent and has her way with him, and then he's asleep because
Ah,
men,
right.
and then she cuts off all his hair. She was playing for the other team.
Son of a bitch. Uh,
So watch
Also,
out.
like, how amazing is that sex that you're not gonna feel someone tugging on your hair and cutting it?
She's quick. He was quick. She had very sharp shears.
I guess. There we go. Cool. Well, thanks for the background on that. I'm
You're
vaguely familiar with
welcome.
that mythos, but I don't really remember much of the details, obviously. So, right on.
Well, so a couple other things in the wiki. The Homers, there's a big part of this is being an executive, and there's a big play which we'll get into about the executive washroom, and that was a play on a movie called Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter? And it was a Jane Mansfield and Tony Randall film back in the 50s. That's a play on which I've never seen. But it's always held the executive washroom like a cachet in
Yeah,
society.
some kind of like badge of honor. It's the only thing I can think of that I know in my current life would be like if you were in the club for like an airline provider, right? You get to go to the special fancy
Mm-hmm.
club and wait for
Mm-hmm.
your flight instead of being with the common folk. And
The
after a
hoi polloi.
yeah. Also, after a 3+ hour delay on my flight home, I really wish I was cool enough to be in that club. But anyway,
Right?
you,
Listen, I've got a friend that knows how to get in there real easy. The other thing is this is the first episode.
I'm Taylor Swift. Let me in.
Right, exactly.
All right, what else you got?
This is the first episode where Mr. Burns plays a major role.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah. All right. Then. Yeah. I mean, again, it's early days, so this is back.
yeah.
My take on The Simpsons is the first two seasons, especially, are very much influenced by Brooks because he is the master of the three-camera sitcom. So you have stuff about your kid and getting in trouble in school. You with bullies. You have the wacky neighbor. You have the overbearing boss and the dead end job. There's a lot of
Mhm.
common themes that you would see in various three-camera sitcoms. I mean, hell, like one of the ones that I liked that was live action during this time was Married with Children, and like Al Bundy and
Oh,
Homer
yeah.
Simpson have like a lot in common for the first
Oh,
couple of
yeah.
seasons before like Homer just starts going wild and like I'm going to space, I'm meeting presidents.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
um,
yeah. I thought, I mean, I liked Married with Children. I was at the right age for it, but it was a one-trick pony, I mean, it was good, and they did it well. It's like Malcolm in the Middle. They repeated the same jokes for a long time, and they were
yep.
good. But The Simpsons, what we always talk about, what's so special about them is how they saw how they could expand the universe and involve more
Well, it also
characters.
helps that you're an animated program with talented voice
100%.
actors, and you can do those fantastical things much easier than if you're doing live action. A lot of times they're like, "This is what you have. You have this one set." Like maybe every once in a while they do a on-site shoot, or something like that. But
Yep.
yeah. All right. So the chalkboard gag is tar is not a plaything, which just makes me wonder what Bart did. That's all that you know.
Right.
If tar is not a play, like who got tarred and feathered? Was it Millhouse?
Or whose car did he pour it on? Or,
Oh,
yeah. Mm,
maybe
mm.
tar in the coffee in the teachers' lounge.
Tar the slide.
And the couch gag is like they do a cute little Egyptian like dance before
Yeah, they
hopping on
do
the couch.
the walk like an Egyptian dance. So one thing about the opening I wanted to talk about real quick is, did you notice the different scream that Homer makes when Marge drives in? So I was like, oh, was that all of those early episodes? But it wasn't. They only did this separate scream a couple of times where he goes like, ah, as opposed to the like,
The
ah,
Yelp.
the one, yeah, the
Yeah,
yelp.
yeah.
And watching this episode too, just the difference, and we've talked about it before, in the animation styles. I've been watching a lot of the later seasons. I've gone through most of the 20s now, from 17 I'm up to like 28, and I've been really immersed in that. I've been watching it a little bit every day. And to jump back into this early animation, it is so crazy where we came from this hand drawn animation into what we know now, which is I give them credit for doing that digital animation well, and it feels warm and inviting, where maybe other shows don't. But man, was it a trip this morning, kind of watching it and thinking about the difference in the animation style.
Well, and this is even much different than later with the hand drawn work that they were
Yeah.
doing. And like by the time you get to season 6, 7, 10, they got their kind of art style down a lot more. They don't have
Oh
like
yeah.
the big, like season 4 is famous for having like the eyes bigger in that season
Okay.
than any other ones. Like Matt would always kind of like, oh, it's the bug eyes season, type of thing. So you do notice those little differences, and think about like what they're able to accomplish with a fairly new show, which was probably a very limited budget, and it takes about a year for the to develop, and you're not seeing the final results from Korea until 6 to 8 months later. The process is just completely changed now, and you could tell like there is a certain charm to like the early Simpsons because it is a little bit rough around the edges. All right, well, we open with the family doing a good old TV dinner with Patty and Selma coming over. This is back when Patty and Selma would visit the Simpsons home. I've been watching some of the newer episodes as well, and like Patty and Selma don't come over to the house as regularly as they used to.
Yeah, I mean, it happened pretty early on, the first, several seasons where they became, Homer's 100%, adversary.
Yeah, because Homer had
His
like Mr.
nemesis.
Burns, uh, Flanders because he hates Flanders,
Mm-hmm.
and the two stepsisters are like those are
Mm-hmm.
those nemesis.
Yep.
We could probably think of one more for the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse reference, but
Artie Sniff. What's his name?
Frank Grimes.
No, Artie that was into Marge.
Oh, Artie
Artie
Ziff. Artie
Ziff.
Ziff. Yeah. Voiced by John Lovitz, a
John
movie
Lovett.
star.
Come on, Marge.
So they are watching a Jeopardy-like show called Grade School Challenge, and it opens up with the TV going, "The capital of North Dakota is named after one German ruler," and then Homer barks in with a,
Hitler.
of
And
course
Marge
it's,
goes, Hitler, North Dakota.
and then of course Patty or Selma go Bismarck,
I
and
love
which
how
is
Bart goes and looks at him. He's like, Hitler?
yeah, everyone's kind of like, come on, Dad. Uh, so there's a little bit of a commentary here. I used to watch like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune all the time
Oh, yeah.
with my parents growing up, and we still, whenever I go see Mom, we watch Jeopardy as well. And there is a certain kind of player who will just bark out answers left and right. So he's like, "What are the three colors of the German flag?" He's like, "Green, blue, red, orange, white, purple,
he pretty much mentions this next question is, what are the colors of the Italian red? Red, white, and what? And he literally says every color.
Right." And
And
then
then
he
he
ends with
comes back and he
green,
goes,
and he's like,
green.
"I
He's
was
like, I
right."
got it right.
Whereas it's like Patty and Selma are waiting and they do one answer. They'll be like green, and
Yeah,
that's it.
right. Exactly.
So I thought that was pretty funny. And then
Blue,
we
red.
get an ad, which brings us to the start of the whole episode with featuring Demand.
Dimoxinil.
Oh man, I spelled it wrong on here too. That's so funny that I keep spelling it wrong
He
everywhere.
kept throwing Z's in
I
there
kept,
on
yeah,
the on
no,
our
and
docs.
it's supposed to be an X, but it was a Z. I don't know what was going on. I wonder if the script I was copying from had that wrong, or if it's
It's a
just me.
direct anagram of minoxidil, as we said
Right.
earlier. And it's similar to those hair product ads that we saw growing up. Sure.
Yeah, it features like a lonely man on the beach talking about how he has hair again and his life is coming up. And Homer is like basically on his hands and knees. Like he even stops eating dessert because he's so enthralled with this ad.
He's just going, hair.
And I love how he goes up to the bathroom and he starts throwing away the quote cheapo sucker deals from the medicine closet.
Well, I love how he's like, the commercial is like, there's been a breakthrough in hair regrowth, and he just can't give it up. He's
Yeah.
like, there's been a breakthrough. Oh my
He's
God.
so convinced.
Marge is like, you really need another one? He goes, Marge, there's been a breakthrough.
I also love how Marge is trying to just, cheer him up in general, like a good wife.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, some women find bald men quite virile.
Mhm.
And he was like, you're just saying that type of thing. He's not buying it.
Yeah.
So
But
he's off to the...
we know she's being honest there.
Yeah,
Marge is
loves
the
Homer.
sweetest.
Loves Homer no matter what.
That's it.
And then, so the next day, Homer is off to the mall because malls existed in 1990.
Yes. Oh, the malls were great.
And I love how the kit comes with the 6-month supply of the drug, gravity boots, scalp massager, and a T-shirt.
It's interesting because it's like a doctor. You had to get this prescribed from a doctor
Right.
in the mall.
But it's a commercial storefront for the product.
It's so skeezy.
Yeah.
I love it.
So the Homer balks at the price tag of $1,000 and is offered by the doctor a cheaper alternative, hair in a drum for $19.95. And I love how the doctor says, basically by the end, he goes, any hair growth while using it will be coincidental.
Exactly. Oh, it's such a shyster product, and any hair growth will be coincidental. Like, it doesn't work, but you
It,
can
it,
afford
it,
this one.
and it looks like something that would hold antifreeze or gas. You know what I mean? It has it's a very industrial drum.
It's like, yeah, like a paint thinner can.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what's funny is this is the time, and I don't know what laws were passed, but you started to be able to advertise drugs.
Do you miss your hair? Are the ladies not giving you that kind of attention anymore?
No, sir.
Do you wonder how they can put a man on the moon but not hair on your head?
Science has failed us.
Well, now there's Dimoxinil.
Miracle cure.
Guaranteed hair growth in 3 easy steps.
Not guaranteed.
Step 1, apply product to scalp. Step 2, massage scalp. Step 3, use gravity boots.
So fucking simple.
Before you know it, a flowing mane will stun your friends and family.
You're not ugly anymore.
Buy Dimoxinil and experience a miracle.
Disclaimer. Miracles aren't cheap. Which was never done before on television or the radio. And these products were, we had the company develop this product, and then they charge like $40 a month, which was a lot of money in 1990. Like, that's a lot. Like, only fairly well off people can shell out $40 a month for this product.
So on your comment about advertising medicine, it's my understanding that that was a law passed under Clinton. So this might be a Simpsons Predicts moment where they predict like
Oh.
these type of ads coming out. Now, I don't know if that's the same for like hair growth and like other shyster kind of like snake oil type of situations, or if
It
that was
might have
actually
been.
like legit prescription drugs. And that's when all of a sudden you're seeing stuff for like Prilotech, and you have someone jogging in the forest, and then you hear just like horrible side effects.
Well, so that's it. It's over the counter versus prescribed drugs, and this might have been after minoxidil was an over the counter medication, which I believe is probably the
Yeah,
case.
probably right.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
but what's funny is just remembering this in the 90s and remembering what a huge like social phenomena it was.
Yeah, I mean, I remember
Um,
Rogaine ads everywhere, like for your
everywhere,
beard, for your hair
everywhere.
color, for your balding, like all the stuff.
And we had malls. It was really a magical time, Josh, and a stable country.
Orange Julius and hair growth formula. What an age to be alive. So
Mm.
Homer does this classic kind of bait and switch that I think everybody has done in their life, when you're actually sniveling like a little bitch, but then when you're telling your friends about it, you're pretending to be the hero. So he's at the doctor's office. He's like, "You fucking meanie! I can't afford $1,000. Yeah." And then the next day at the plant, he's selling Lenny and Carl. And that's when I told him to get lost, and I stormed out of there. It's like,
He's literally like like crying at the doctor's office, and he
yeah,
plays it so big with them.
right.
It's
I
commentary
am
on
I am
diet
very
culture.
I am very guilty of that, where like there's a scenario where I'm being a little bitch, or I'm not, like I'm being ridiculous in nature in any way. And then I tell my friends later, and that's when I came in as Captain Snerts and I solved that situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Uh,
told them.
yeah.
Hmm.
And So we get a little bit of a foreshadowing with the tartar sauce because there's not enough for
They're
Fish Stick
eating
Day.
fish sticks, and Homer's complaining about how he doesn't have enough tartar sauce. And that's where we get Carl going, "Stop whining, Chrome Dome."
Yeah.
Uh, a
Also,
nice
this feels
little
like such
bald
an old
gag.
school thing for a company to have like a full cafeteria with
Yeah,
various like food days.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
like nowadays, you would, if you're lucky, like Chiat had one, like, or they had like the full
Yeah, we were
cafeteria
very
thing
lucky with
going
that. That
on.
was amazing.
Yeah, but I haven't experienced that at my other places. If we're getting food,
No.
it's going to be like pizza delivery or
Oh
Mendocino
yeah.
Farms.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but so it is kind of interesting seeing, because I think my dad experienced that when he was working at various
Yeah,
companies, like Raytheon would have
yeah,
cafeterias and whatnot. I'm assuming
absolutely.
your dad did as well at Coca-Cola.
Oh, of course. I'm assuming that Coca-Cola still does that. Although
Yeah,
they really they're not as employee centric as they used to be. Nobody is. But I think if you work at the giants in Atlanta like UPS or
right. Yeah.
Delta, that you probably get that.
Carl's not having any of this, and he's just like, "Stop your whining, Chrome Dome. Who cares about the tartar sauce, right?" And then Homer is very much. He's like, "Oh, you wouldn't be talking to me like that if I had hair," you know.
He's being a sap, which Lenny says, like, don't be a sap. Fill out some insurance forms and charge a Dimoxinil to the company.
I also like
Uh,
how he's like, so he has one less ivory back scratcher. Huh? You pay into the insurance fund. What do you get? Nothing. The
he's
newsletter. Well, why not get the nothing while a guy loses a finger and hits the jackpot?
I love it. He's like, yeah, like why worry about it when this other sucker over here lost a finger? He's hit the hit the lottery. It's like, that's a great joke. I love Lenny in
I
that
also
scene.
don't know why my Lenny voice turned into like the talk show host Jay Leno. It's like I was like, hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah,
It was a little bit like Joe Pesci.
a little bit. Oh,
I'm a clown, am I? I'm a clown, am I?
I did just watch Casino, so that might be why the Joe
There he
Pesci
is.
came
That's
through.
exactly what it is.
Yeah. All right. So Homer goes back to the doctor, and at first, the doctor's gonna like, "How dare you? I will never take insurance
Well,
claims."
so he's like, I'd like to charge that Dimoxinil stuff to my health insurance. And yes, the doctor is indignant. Is like, I don't know who put you up to this, but no insurance plan covers something as frivolous as Dimoxinil. And then he cranks up the music. What was it playing? Was playing. And everybody whispers, like, meet in the alley in 15 minutes. Come alone. And they have this kind of espionage style like handoff in the alley.
Yeah, it's pretty funny too. He has like the trench coat and the hat on and everything, right?
Briefcase, and Homer hands him a clipboard with the insurance form on it. Very clandestine.
Yeah, there's also a joke on that insurance form that'll come in later that I found most enjoyable. All right, so back at the house, we see Homer using the full kit minus the T-shirt. And that was kind of a missed opportunity in hindsight. Like they should have had him wearing the T-shirt while he was putting on the
Oh yeah,
formula.
that would be hilarious.
But whatever. Maybe that was one of those things that came back and they're like, well, he has the same old white shirt on like we always does. I guess we'll just be using that.
But I love the scene because he's doing the thing where he massages it in his scalp, which is great
Yep.
animation. And then it shows him massaging his head with like a handheld massager while it's hanging upside down in the gravity boots.
Yep.
And it's the extent to which Homer will go, or anybody who is balding will go to try and make this work. It's
I
great.
also find it amazing that door frame held.
I know. I thought the same thing. Like,
So then Homer wakes up with long hair. It's kind of fun. He doesn't really notice it at first. He's washing his mouth
well,
out. And then
he's wearing a hair cover thing, a
right,
shower cap kind
correct,
of thing.
shower cap.
Like if
And
you
so
got a
like
perm, which you know
removes
about.
removes it and then sees the hair, spits out the mouthwash all over the mirror. And then we proceed to get a homage to "It's a Wonderful Life" when is it George Bailey, right? He's
Yeah, George Bailey's running through.
running through the streets.
I'm
I love
alive.
I'm alive. Everything's great. And,
Yeah.
you liked some of the bits there too, because he passes by a funeral procession.
He's running around. He's like, I am here. And he's saying hi to everybody. And he passes by a cemetery. He's like, good morning, everybody. And they're burying their grandma or something. They all turn big smiles on their faces. They're like, hey, good morning.
Yeah, because Homer is still in his PJs, and then he runs into somebody into town square
Town
with the
square.
good
Yep.
old statue of Jebediah Springfield in the
He's
background.
doing the same
And
thing,
they kind of squint at each other, and they both yell like, Dimoxinil!
Dimoxinil, and they hug and they dance in the streets. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a quick turnaround, 24 hours. I mean, the stuff works.
Right, and like we mentioned at the beginning with our wiki section, this is the first hairstyle, very long, very untamed,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and then we get
Untame's the word, and it's like down to his shoulder blades.
yeah, it's a lot of hair. I also love how when he's running home, it does like the classic slow motion with like the sprinklers forming arches and a rainbow appears, and then he's dancing with the kids or rolling with the kids and the dog and the cat on the flower bed. It's all very
Happy Homer.
yeah. But I also like it too because it feels like he's coming from like the 70s again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
His youth has been rejuvenated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Homer doesn't bother to dress and goes immediately to a barber shop in his PJs and slippers. I thought that was weird. And then we get
It's like this old barber, and he's going like, Homer Simpson, you haven't been here for 20 years. It was like squinting at him. And Homer's like, give me the usual.
there you go. I also love how he's like, you got rid of the sideburns.
Like, I said, get rid of those sideburns.
All right. So the next day, Marge is talking with her sisters. He's much happier at work, and just between us girls, he hasn't been this frisky in years. And Selma's like, I don't want to think about it.
I don't want to think about it.
But we get Homer coming home, and Marge gets up to greet him, which is very nice. And you can definitely
he's being like this overly loving husband,
very charismatic and energetic. And you can tell
he's
that they're kind of
Daddy's home, sugar.
yeah, and you
Come
hear like
here, you.
Marge giggling and stuff like that, and the slap on the it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's also like not upset to have Patty and Selma over, which is a first.
Which I think is very telling. Like we know he hates Patty and Selma,
But his confidence is so high.
And he's like, dinner with 3 beautiful women? I must be in heaven. I mean, it's a sign about how much this has affected his outlook.
Absolutely. And I also love how they're gobsmacked at how Homer looks. He's like, stop drooling. It's like,
they're like lusting after him in the
Yeah.
scene, which is weird since at least one of them is maybe bi.
Well,
She could be
yeah.
bi.
I mean, at this time, they didn't have her in the closet at all. I
Just
think that came up later.
93% on the Kinsey scale.
There you go.
But Homer, with that haircut from high school, because this is when he has like the fro cut.
Right.
So that's the first one we see that's cut.
With the big sideburns.
It's the fro cut, and it is that bulbous thing that he wears when you cut back to his high school days when he met Marge. And it's classic.
I also like how the compliments keep coming at work the next day, but of course the drones from Sector 7G can't figure out what's the difference with Homer. Like, did you lose weight? Did you brush your teeth? Like
Lenny's like, did you get a tan?
Yeah, it's so weird.
I know what it is. A new tie.
Yeah. None of it makes sense.
None.
And then we go up to Burns, and he's just like looking at all the employees through the monitors. He's like, pathetic morons in my employees stealing my precious money. None of these cretins deserve a promotion. It's in the union contract. 1 token promotion per year. Wait, who's that young go-getter? Looks like Homer Simpson, sir, only more dynamic and resourceful. I just love that line, dynamic and resourceful. Like, really? Just for the hair?
It's all about the hair, Josh. It's all about
And Burns
the hair.
is like, Simpson, eh? An unspoiled lump of clay to mold in my own image. Our new junior executive, bring him to me. And then, do you want to do the Smithers line over the PA system?
The PA system. He's like, Homer Simpson, you've been promoted. You are now an executive. Take 3 minutes to say goodbye and report to room 503 for reassignment to a better life.
3 minutes to say goodbye is great.
You're so out of there, and you're never going to see them again. You're saying like goodbye forever. But it's part of this whole episode, which I really like, is like Burns just talks just says the most horrible things about his employees.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
cretins. It's a theme throughout, but they're just not even hiding the fact that once you move into the executive rank, like you don't mix with them at all anymore.
Yeah, I also recently saw some Simpsons episodes of season 35 on my travel days, and one of them had Mr. Burns getting non-union worker replacements for the entire power plant, which was pretty hilarious because he had them doing. They were all from Juilliard, and they had them doing like all these dances. It's like, we do not need insurance, we won't sue you back, we just need a place to pay our rent. You know. So the whole trend of Mr. Burns having no respect for any of his employees or those lesser
No.
than him has
And then
been
why do we wonder
going
why
for.
nobody puts any effort forward, you know? Were you one of the thousands of men seeking relief from male pattern baldness with hair in a drum? Did you experience these less than lethal side effects? Burning, cooling, additional balding, skin flaking, or genital warts? If yes, then call Lionel Hutz. He's leading a team of top lawyers on a class action lawsuit against hair in a drum. Here's what he has to say about the lawsuit.
I'm doing what with the who now?
Classic Huts. For a small 92% contingency fee, you can be part of this lawsuit and cash in on your pain and suffering. Call 1-800-BALDNESS today. Se habla español.
As a new junior executive, Homer gets to hire an assistant, and all he does is get these bimbos who want to throw kissy faces at him.
He's in his office and he's like interviewing this girl and he's like, so like what will make you stand out? And she says, I give back rubs to haired executives, and she like makes the moves on him.
Oh yeah, very
But
short
he's
dress,
a good husband, you
very much
know.
so.
And he's
I
like, you know what, you can go now.
And Marge calls and he basically tells her, he's like, I don't like all these people making kissy faces at me. So
Which
I
Marge doesn't
really
like either.
no. And then walks Carl, good old Carl, and
Yeah.
he's like, hello, Mr. Simpson. And it's like Marge is immediately like, he sounds good, hire
Yeah, like
him.
that's the guy. It's great. It's great. Marge doesn't miss a beat. But here's Carl. We get to Carl. Like this is, you know,
So we're going to
our
be playing a
introduction to
couple
Harvey Firestein.
clips in and out of this, and we'll probably repeat some of the stuff that's in the clips because that's what we do here on Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts. But before the interview starts,
you don't like it, get out.
Right. Before the interview starts, Smithers walks in to tell Homer about a meeting tomorrow, and Carl is very critical of his responses. And here's a little sample of that.
You don't belong here.
Huh?
You don't belong here. You're a fraud and a phony, and it's only a matter of time until they find you out.
Who told you?
And it ends with a great like point that he brings up. He's like, you did, with the way you walk into your chest, the way you smother yourself in a lime green polyester. What are your thoughts about his opening suit there, bud?
Oh God, it's horrible. And this one, it's just bright green, and it's got like he's got a mustard color shirt on, and it does not work. It's
with a pink tie and a giant pink like lapel flower of some kind, right? It looks like he's like the Joker, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna squirt you with the acid. He's like, but then Carl starts to pump up Homer, and this makes him basically spout out eventually, like, I am nature's greatest miracle. And I got a little bit of a sample of that, but I know you wanted to bring out some of your favorite moments of that because it's kind of like a cool, empowering moment that Carl is doing, right?
It's wonderful. You know, I mean, you need to understand that you deserve it. Like, say it. Like, I deserve it. I love myself.
Louder.
I'm, you know,
Louder. Shout, Mr. Simpson.
And, you know, I mean, Homer is down, you know, he's, you know, and you'll, you know, we have the clip, but it's, you know, say it.
I
Trust me, Homer. Take a step and say it.
I deserve this.
Louder.
I deserve this.
Shout it.
I am nature's greatest miracle.
I'll need 3 weeks vacation and moving expenses.
You got it, buddy.
Let's go shopping.
Which brings us to the Royal Majesty for the obese or gangly gentleman.
Oh,
And this leads
again,
to
the
yet
mall.
another great Carl line, because he's, basically helping him out. I know you like the early suit selection that
Well,
Homer
so
went to. He
so
goes to
he
like the
goes to like
bargain
the
bin.
bargain rack, right? And he
Yeah,
pulls one
yeah,
off, and it is horrible. It's like a camo green, but it's also got like four pockets on it. Like it is a
yeah.
mess. It is a mess. It is so ugly. And
And the
Carl's
pockets
like,
protrude. They're not like interior pockets. They're like
right.
pouches.
Oh no,
Yeah,
it looks like he's wearing cargo shorts.
right.
And Carl's like, a man's suit should make him look like a prince. It should cry out, "Here I am. Don't judge me. Love me." I was like, do any of these suits do that? He's like, no. I do love the next part also is great when
Yeah, so Homer is getting measured, and he gets like they go up the leg, and he's like, "Ooh, I kind of like this."
measure the inseam, and he's like, "Ooh, I like this." I mean, like that's racy. Like you did
That's
not
fun.
see an
Yeah,
inference of him getting his, his twig and berries, brushed by a
right.
tailor.
So Carl is like, "No, no, no, stand naturally, Mr. Simpson. Let it all hang out." And then his gut just expands like three
Just
times its
expands
size.
out, like don't
And
this is
Carl
where
points
you
at the tailor and goes, "You conceal it."
conceal it. The way he's ordered is like, Homer, let it all hang out.
Yeah,
You conceal it.
right. No, he's like a conductor, man.
Need to
He's a
Harvey
conductor,
Firestein.
like,
Yeah,
just doing what he needs to do to get like the job done.
it is. I just love it. It is a line that delivered by Harvey Feinstein is unique and hilarious.
So the next morning, we got everybody in the kitchen except for Homer, who's running late. The kids mentioned like, "Oh, mom and dad have been kissing again," so it's very obvious
Yeah.
that things have been happening between the
Oh,
two of
yeah. I
them.
mean, there's indications that they've been um, doing it.
Getting down,
Chow,
sleeping in
chow,
the middle of the
chow.
bed, because that's where you do the business.
Mm-hmm.
So we get Marge. Basically, it's their wedding anniversary. Homer forgets again, and
Well,
Marge is
Homer's
actually,
rushing out
yeah,
the
yeah.
door. He's like, gotta run. Like, he doesn't even get to see them because he's got to hurry off to the job.
And Marge is already like, "Hey, you got a big important job now, so you have a good excuse." And then
For
there's a knock
missing
at the
our
door,
anniversary. Yeah.
and a man holding roses wishes Marge a happy anniversary and sings, "You are so beautiful to me."
You are. I love how he sings it.
Oh
He's like,
yeah,
to me, can't you see? He just is not good, but he just pours his heart into it.
he's definitely
But
giving it's all. And then the phone rings, and Carl is like, "I see my present arrived. I hope I did not overstay my bounds." And Homer's like, "No, no, no,
I
this is
was
great.
like,
This is great."
you did this? Because
Yeah,
when Marge was like, this is our anniversary, he's like, oh my God, are you sure? I'm like, and
yeah,
she's like, it's
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's
That's pretty
okay. You're
funny.
so busy
Are
now.
you sure?
And she is so touched by the singing telegram.
Yeah, and then Homer gives her a hug. "I love you, Carl or Marge."
She got long stem roses and serenaded.
Yep.
Marge deserves it.
So that meeting that Smithers was chastising Homer about is now in session, and they're trying to resolve the low productivity and high accident rates at the plant. So Homer basically, you like the lines that they give. What are the options that the executives are providing?
Well, Burns is like, any suggestions? And when Intercept is like, and they're like, how do we boost productivity? And they're
Right.
like, a round of layoffs. And somebody else goes, caffeine in the water cooler. Like, that's illegal, BT dubs. And a round of layoffs to motivate is a little too close to home these days,
It's kind of funny too, because Burns is like, "Those are my ideas. I need new ideas." You.
That's why I brought in some new blood.
Yeah, and then Homer is basically like, "Well, on fish stick day, there isn't enough tartar sauce." And Smithers, being the asshole that he is in
He's
this
an asshole this
episode,
whole thing. And he's like,
basically scolds him. But Barnes is like, "Shut up, Smithers. Can't you see? A happy worker is a busy worker. 3 cents worth of sauce could save us hours in labor. I like the cut of your jib. Let the fools have their tartar sauce."
I love the disdain, which he says, Let the fools have their tartar sauce. It's
Right.
I love the open hostility that they have for the workers.
And then
It's one of my
Homer,
favorite
basically
gags.
there's a very fast cut and Homer is like just piling on the tartar sauce for everybody.
he's,
Uh
he's like ladling it on. They have
oh
like three
yeah.
small like fish sticks, and he's dumping it on. It's ugh.
And
Ooh.
then Burns is reading current events, the Springfield Power Plant employee newsletter. And the three headlines are work accidents reach record low, output up 15%, management caves into condiment outcry. So once again, the news spreads quickly in Springfield, right? They have these like crack journalists who are just providing news updates at the moment's notice. Uh,
Right, right.
Smithers, being the catty bitch that he is, points out that the accidents and output actually are parallel with Homer getting a new position. So Homer was the one not working hard enough, and he was the one causing all the accidents.
He says, accidents decreased by the number Simpson is known to or suspected of having caused, and the output was just as high during his last holiday. I mean, he's not being that catty yet. Like, we know that that's probably correct.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to point it out to Burns.
Yeah, he's
He's
shitting.
purposely like trying to
Yeah,
shit on Simpsons in front
yeah,
of Burns.
yeah.
And then Burns is basically like, you sound like you're being a little jealous. I'm going to give him the key.
Oh, the key.
Yeah. And then we get this.
And this cut is maybe my favorite in this episode.
Mr. Simpson, don't sit on that filthy thing 1 second longer. They've given you the key.
The key.
Yeah, we got good old Carl giving like Homer
Carl
the
and
news.
Smithers
Yes.
kick open the door to the employee bathroom, which is filthy. It looks like a bad truck stop bathroom.
I was thinking truck stop or a park, like or
Yeah,
beach.
exactly.
You know?
And Homer is in the stall
Yes.
sitting. So
And
he's pooping. They
yeah.
break in and say, what does he say? Don't sit on that filthy thing 1 second longer. They've given you the key.
So then we get to see a lavish hall with tile floor, water fountain that looks like a mini mountain with trees, rocks, and a bird, while classical music is being played by musicians in the hall.
It's got the vaulted. See, it's very Romanesque, like vaulted ceilings and columns. It's all marble. There's a orchestra playing, and the waterfall is like, a small mountain in there.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of like the Mirage used to have waterfalls like that in Vegas. You know
It's
what I
not just
mean? Like
birds; it's
it's
like
insane.
exotic birds in there
Yes,
too.
yeah, parrots
It's
and
like you're
shit. You
in
know.
an aviary somewhere. Yeah, it's great.
And then Carl sums it up: stunning, absolutely
Stunning.
stunning. And then Burns comes out and he was like, I was watching DuPont last night and I caught a documentary on Rummel, a man who got things done.
Oh, that's a second Nazi reference in the episode. But we do know that Matt Groening was a virulent Nazi.
Well, no. He was a right-wing extremist who
Right,
believes in the
right,
Second Amendment and
right,
tequila shots.
right. Loves the
Yeah.
NRA.
Yes, NRA forever. So basically, Burns is still giving Homer all the perks. He's like, you can dry my hands and then walk behind me, and this enrages Smithers.
And Smithers is really pissed off
Yeah.
because he's like, I'll do it. And Burns is like, I said Homer. I don't know why he just turned into Firestein.
There you go. That's okay. There's a great top-down shot denoting him throwing the towel down and walking away, and then a man comes in, like bowed over, like picks up the towel without like breaking eye contact.
Scurries in, scurries out.
And then the tiles transition into an exterior shot of the building with the tiles becoming windows. It's a pretty well animated bit.
It's a beautiful shot. Like, it's it kind of pans across the tiles and then they, expand out to the building facade. It's
and
really good shot.
Smithers is being a little jerk by trying to find dirt in the personnel records on
he's
Homer.
breaking in late at night, like he's sneaking in late at night with like the flashlight, picking the lock on the door and grabbing Homer's confidential file.
He's pulling a Batman from the animated series bit where he comes in. He's always going into a file room to find something in that series. And I love how we get
flashlight in the mouth while there's fingering through records. Yep.
100%. And then we get the real reason for the drug to get the hair growth, right? Was to
Mhm.
quote, to keep brain from freezing. And I love that.
The
It's so
fourth.
stupid. But I could see it passing like some kind of insurance. It's like, yeah, I know, like my brain gets cold. That's why we have hair.
I mean, listen. I mean, that's a valid. A doctor signed off on it, so
Yeah, of course. The same doctor who works at a mall.
it's great.
So the next day we see the Simpsons backyard has some upgrades. There's a jungle gym set with a slide. The treehouse looks like a castle. There's new furniture, a
Yeah.
barbecue, and a mower. But Marge is
It's
concerned.
just the happiest scene, though. It's like a happy home scene.
Yeah. And Marge is very concerned that they're not saving enough money for a rainy day. And then we get a little back and forth with Lisa and Homer that I thought was hilarious. He's like, there's
Well,
not a cloud in the Simpsons sky. What does my little girl want?
because an absence of mood swings and stability in my life.
How about a pony?
Okay.
And
I
it's
love
just perfect Lisa, you know?
It's classic. It's
Oh, it's
classic.
so good. Oh, man. That made me
It's
laugh.
it's also that those psychological jokes about growing up in a family like this that they
Right.
make all the time. Like one of my favorites is with Bart. Like I can't remember what episode it is. He's like, I just want to hurt people, and Homer's like, he's like, that's good, boy, and he's like, I'm just angry all the time. He's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that's good, Bart.
Yeah, I mean, it's also funny when Lisa confronts, in the pod episode, and he's like, I want my old dad back who's yelling and wait,
Wait,
I don't
now
know
I'm
what I want.
confused.
So we're back at the plant, and Burns tasks Homer with giving a speech to his executives. They figured if he could make the peons happy with tartar sauce, what can he do with the executives? And
Mhm.
then he leaves with the assignment, and Smithers comes in to expose the insurance fraud of $1,000. And he goes, it's my sad duty to report an executive has bilked you out of $1,000.
What? Bless his high Hades. And I was gonna buy that ivory back scratcher. Oh.
Great callback. Great
That's
callback.
literally what he was gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Lenny was like, "What's the yes, Lenny?" That is exactly what he was gonna do with that. I have two, by the way. I have two ivory back scratchers. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
very good.
fancy.
One for your ass and
Mhm.
one for your back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Perfect.
I have a
Uh,
gold one for my nuts.
You and Trump.
Oh wow! Wait a minute. Just relax, Josh.
So Smithers, gleeful, walks over to Homer. I'm sure he had like that like little prissy fucking fast walk, right? Like I'm gonna fuck some shit up.
He's excited. Yeah. I'm gonna get mine.
Right. And he basically calls out Homer. He's like, hey, you're fired. We found this insurance
Well,
fraud.
so Homer busts into his office and he goes to Carl and he's like, Mr. Burns wants me to make a speech. I need you to help me. And then Smithers walks in behind him and just drops it, he's there like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, nothing. I just popped in to say that you're fired.
Right. And we get a great bit where Carl is being an amazing individual. Once again, he falls on the sword for Homer. He takes the
Yeah.
blame. He cuts a check to Smithers for $1,000 there on the spot.
He takes
And
all
this
the
was
blame for it.
1990. Like $1,000 was a lot more than it
That's a
is
lot of money.
today.
Like what the salary was, but like if Homer can't afford it.
Right. Yeah. Well, Homer also has
He is a
big
He is a
family.
single income, no kids.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
Homer Simpson is innocent. I did this.
You did?
What are you talking about?
Mr. Simpson was unaware of any impropriety. I take full responsibility.
Really? Oh. Well, then you're fired, whoever you are.
Here's your $1,000.
Oh. Hey, what do you care if this guy's bald?
My reasons are my own.
So there's a nice clip that we'll play here. It basically like I just love it. Like he just kind of goes, he's like, yeah, I'll do that. And Smithers is so irate. He's like, oh, whoever you are, fine, you're fired. And then Smithers has to ask, what do you care if this guy is bald? My reasons are my own.
My reasons are my own.
It's so hilarious.
It's
And
so
then-
well done. I'm glad we had that clip.
And we also have Harvey going into a little speech, and he's like, have I done something extraordinary here today? No. I did what any soldier would do when a grenade threatens his commander. I threw myself upon it and bore its terrible brunt.
Because Homer's touched. He's like, why did you do it?
Yeah,
And once again, he's telling Homer that he's worth it. That he's he says many lovely things about him.
absolutely. And I love how they walk to the parking lot and it's raining, and Carl
Hmm.
walks out into the rain, and he's like,
He's
"Mr.
popped up. I
Simpson."
love the animation of
Yes,
this
really good
umbrella that
at it.
he's popped out,
Yeah, yeah,
and he turns back.
yeah. And he's just basically like, "Your bitch ass didn't bring an umbrella, right?"
And he says a little more eloquently, he goes, "Did you bring an umbrella today?" And
No,
Homer's like, "No."
no.
He tosses them the umbrella, and there's just great shot of him in the rain, like, and his hair is like coming down over his forehead because
Yep.
he's soaked, and he's just looking back at Homer, and they share that moment. And then he walks off into the rain. And of course, he gives a little sneeze, a little
Yeah, yeah, that was hilarious.
like like he may threaten his health for Homer at this point.
Yeah, so this is where things start to kind of unravel for Homer ever since being
Hmm.
exposed from the fraud, right? And he's now
Hmm.
panicking at home because his ace in the hole is gone and the speech is still due.
He's like, "You broke? You don't have Carl? He's not here, but I have my hair. I have my hair."
And of course, Bart is up to no good because he's a
Miscreant, as
very
he
good.
always is.
And he takes the hair drug, which I have spelled in my notes all wrong throughout this entire document. God damn it. Dimoxinil.
Zamamanadil.
Yeah, right. Hey man, Z's are cooler than X's, I guess. I don't know. And so
Dimoxinil.
he's trying to
Dimoxinil.
grow a beard, and he had this like little dream sequence
Yeah,
where
it's
he's
his
kind of like
famous
doing like
thing.
a French beatnik goatee.
Yeah,
And he's
he's like,
like, check out my
"Hey,
beard,
what's
daddy-o.
happening?" I love it when Bart does his little acts on the side. The English chimney sweep, and he's like a 50s a beatnik with the "Hey, what's happening, hep cats?" And he's like, "It's a Reelsville, daddy-o."
And then, of course, Bart like is caught by Homer and knocks over the container of the drug, and it
Oh,
pours into the carpet. And
oh,
instead of like saving what little is left of the drug, he lets it spill out on the carpet
I
more and
know.
decides to chase the boy.
He was splashing it on his face. It was great.
Uh,
But
and then
I
Homer
noticed the
basically
same thing where instead of saving what he could, he
right.
runs after Bart
And they go
because
like
he's
down the stairs,
murderous.
over the couch. They're knocking stuff
Yeah.
over. Like it's a pretty good chase. And then we love the line too, where Homer starts in with
Homer gets him,
"Boy
he's
must
choking
die,
him.
boy must die."
Bart's like, I love you, Dad.
Oh, dirty trick! I won't kill you, but I'll tell you three things that will haunt you forever. You've ruined me. You've crippled your family, and baldness is hereditary. Amazing,
I
so
love,
good.
the Homer, I'm gonna kill you because he has that glint in his eye.
Yeah, no, he's pissed.
And he's like, I love you. Dirty
Dirty
trick.
trick.
Oh, it's
And then
great.
a crying Homer is rubbing his like
Uh.
skull on the carpet where the drug spilled. And Lisa goes, wait, what's Lisa's line? You got
He goes, Dad's taking this in a less than heroic fashion.
two for two, Lisa. Two for two. Amazing.
I love
Uh
Homer. It's like talking to Marge. He's like, I don't have $1,000, but you do. You said you've been squaring it away, right? And he's like groping her, and he starts like
well,
feeling in
on the
her
ground,
hair.
he's like pulling himself up to like try to like basically frisk her down for cash. It's quite and so Homer the next day he's bald again, and there's this like
Yeah,
very sad trail of hair from the
overnight it's
bed.
all come out.
You know, you
Yeah.
see the sad trail from the bed to the to the kitchen, and bathroom, and he's just so sad. And then he wears like this like really silly fisherman hat at work with his suit. Uh, and then Smithers is being an asshole. He's like, "You're not gonna choke, are you?" Something like that.
He goes, you're giving that speech in 5 minutes. You're not going to hang yourself, are you?
Hang yourself, even worse than choke.
Mm-hmm.
And then he notices that there's a letter on the desk, and it goes, "Dear Mr. Simpson, I prepared your speech on 3x5 cards. The big words are spelled out phonetically.
Phonetically.
God bless you. You are one of Springfield's special creatures. Your obedient servant, Carl. Good luck,
And then he
sir.
puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, "Good luck, sir." And Homer jumps. He's like, "Wait, you're here?"
What is that line that he says too?
He says, "Why are you here?" He goes, "That voice wasn't just inside my head."
Yeah, which is a great misdirect because that's a classic thing to do with a character is reading a letter for the letter to be read in the voice of the sender.
He's
So
standing behind him.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's
exactly,
an old Naked Gun joke back in the day, definitely. Like
absolutely.
yeah, Zucker Brothers joke right there. But I love Carl. He's like, "Carl, what are you doing here?" He has this little throwaway line, but I love it. Where he goes, "I came to say bye to the gals in the typing pool."
Yeah, perfect, right? I also like how he's trying to cheer him up again, and then we get the
Well,
classic bit.
because
Uh,
Homer's like, I can't. It doesn't matter that I have the speech. I don't have
right.
any hair. They're gonna laugh me out of there.
Right, and then Carl, like, basically lists off all the accomplishments that he made. He's like, "That was you. That was never the hair. That was you," you know?
Funny thing is because I haven't taught you anything. The accomplishments as he lists are the tartar sauce, the bathroom key, which he didn't do anything, and drying your boss's hands. Those are the accomplishments. That was you. That was you.
I also like how Homer's probably making, like, mid, six-figure salary, right? He's probably pulling down 250 in
I don't know,
1990.
man.
And
You
and
can't
s
afford $1,000. I don't think they gave him a raise.
no, because he was spending on it on everything. That was the
This is true.
problem. He bought
Oh
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff,
The
so
suits,
yeah.
splurging.
But anyway, so I also love how it ends with
Well,
Homer
so
basically going like, "I'm just a big fool." No, you're not. How do you know? Because my mother taught me never to kiss a fool. And then we get like, "Mwah."
he kisses him on the lips.
Yeah, and then Homer's like,
And then
"Carl."
Homer's like, "Carl, ooh."
Now go get him, Tiger, and he slaps him on the ass.
And
It's so good.
I guess I haven't taught you anything.
What do you mean?
Don't you see? The tartar sauce, the bathroom key, drying your boss's hands. You did it all. It was never the hair. You did it because you believed you could and you still can.
No, I can't. I'm just a big fool.
Oh, no, you're not.
How do you know?
Because my mother taught me never to kiss a fool.
Carl.
Now go get him, Tiger.
Rawr!
Homer's like, "Rawr."
Yeah.
Classic. But this is up there with. I think this is the greatest moment in this particular episode, where the back and forth right there
Yeah.
is. I'm a fool. No, you're not. How do you know? Because mother taught me never to kiss a fool.
Yeah, it's so good. I also just that's a good positive affirmation thing that you can do to yourself. It's like talk yourself up, like cheer yourself up. It's so easy to get down in the dumps, and sometimes you just need that little bit of a push to be the true potential of what you really can be.
And then
Uh,
you should kiss the person that you're trying to help.
I case by case basis, case by case basis.
Yeah, I've been in trouble a couple
Yeah,
times.
consent is important.
Con-
So Homer does provide an amazing speech that Carl prepared. It starts off with him burning a dollar bill, and by the end of it, like it has some kind of like Japanese like
it's
theme.
I can save this company millions of year. How? And he does. He lists all the things exactly how they can do this. They totally write them off, but he's like, we can use the ancient, the Japanese art of Jiko Kanri, the art of self management. They're
No
not
one's
giving
buying
him
it,
any quarter on this.
and
Yeah,
they step up and they walk away because he lost his
yeah.
power, he lost his hair.
Like this bald man has no ideas. And
Yeah, everybody is
he's
making a bald
brilliant.
comment too, as well, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. And
Like,
if you
tell
see
me
it,
how to run things. He doesn't even have any hair.
right, and you can tell by the end of his notes that he would save the company like around $500,000 a year just to start.
Just on that one piece.
Yeah, just to start. So that was pretty funny. I also like how basically Smithers is like, "Mr. Burns' office right now. Dead man coming through."
He's such an asshole in this episode.
So is there any of the verbal slashing that Burns gives a Homer that stood out to you?
He doesn't give much of a verbal slashing there?
Well, at the beginning, he's just kind of like, "How dare you, use my money for this, And that speech was an embarrassment.
He says, "You made a mockery of our meeting. I should
Yeah,
fire
there you
you on the
go.
spot."
Yep, that's the one.
But I'm not going to, Homer.
Yeah, and then we get this great clip that we'll play right now, and it basically shows that Mr. Burns is sympathetic because of the sting of male pattern baldness.
You may find this hard to believe, but in my salad days, my crowning glory was a bright shock of strawberry blonde curls. Oh, I was big man on campus until my senior year, when I became as bald as a plucked chicken. You see, Simpson, I too know the sting of male pattern baldness.
And the clip is fantastic because we find out that Burns had strawberry blonde locks, right?
And we've seen them now.
Yeah. Like when he was beating up that poor Irishman at the fair with the bumper car.
We were talking about this. They mention his age. He goes, "Homer, how old do you think I am?" Homer's like, "I don't know, 102." And he goes, "I'm 81." And of course, we get references of him being alive in like the American Revolution,
Right.
There's all these, inferences that he is ancient.
I mean, he's
and,
also a vampire in one of the Treehouse of Horrors, so maybe that has more
exactly
weight than we think, right?
We get
'Cause,
lots of references to that over the years, but I mean, like him being around in the gold rush and things like that.
Well, and if we really think about it, what is 2025 minus 80 is 1945 at this point. So he would have been born in the middle of World War II versus serving in it. And so it's kind of interesting because it's the
With
old
the
rubber band
flying
reality,
Hellcats.
and it depends on what's going on as his age. And then his mom is even older, so that's hilarious.
Wait, no, 1990 minus 81 is 1909.
Right, I did 2025.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You were mentioning you were watching a recent episode where they updated it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
again,
makes
you're gonna,
sense.
I don't know, because it's more fun to have him in like the early Gilded Age than it
Right.
is to have him in like the hippie era and revolutions of the '60s. You know what I mean?
He's the ageless, I think, was what we both
Right.
enjoyed about it.
Yeah.
And he's indestructible.
Right, because he was like a middle-aged person with Mona Lisa, like for that whole flower power. But yeah, like many other things in The Simpsons, Mr. Burns' age is just like
Well,
whatever,
and look, he's
whatever the
fallen
joke
off his
needs.
building twice that we
Right.
know of.
Right. Like he has like a really like all of his baseball picks have been dead for 40 years or something like that.
He's referencing songs in like the early days of phonographs and
Right. And he has like his social security number is not two. Blasted Roosevelt. So we get basically the reset of the rubber band reality. Homer's back to his old job, and he's in bed with Marge. This is like the classic way to end an episode around this time in the Simpsons seasons. And he laments that he's stuck in a dead end job again. The kids will hate me because I can't buy the stuff I promised, and you're not going to love me because I'm ugly and bald. And of course, Marge, being Marge, immediately hugs him and says like, and starts singing "You Are So Beautiful." And by the end of it, they're both singing it together, and it's a very lovely send off for a wonderful
she
episode.
makes him feel better, and it's so sweet because similar to Carl, she makes him feel loved for who he is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if Marge and Carl could like team up together, Homer would be a god.
They did, Josh. They did.
Briefly. Yeah, I can imagine Carl and Marge having a twice a month Sunday brunch date.
Oh,
where
absolutely.
They have like mimosas and they eat.
Marge comes home a little tipsy.
Oh, they always order.
Nap.
They always order eggs Benedict for some reason. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. Robin.
They love hollandaise sauce.
Yeah. It's the best.
It's to die for.
And then they talk about how they found, like, Carl is like, I saw Smithers at the club.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's still trying to hide
Yeah.
that asshole.
Right. Robin, do you hear that sound?
What's that, Josh?
Well, you know what time it is. It's the
Krusty
Rusty
Brand
Brand Seals
Seal
of
of
Approval.
Approval. Definitely popped on that
Always. That's the
one.
part.
Always.
Always. All right, my final thoughts because I picked the episode and my score. Simpsons and Delilah is a lovely episode. It is the early days of The Simpsons when the show felt like an animated 3-camera sitcom. Dad dealing with baldness and work problems. Carl is fantastic, and we would all be lucky to have such a loyal colleague. Smithers, however, is a jealous dick. If it
Right.
wasn't for Burns relating to male pattern baldness, then Homer would have been really screwed and probably have fired. This isn't the funniest episode out there, and it can be summed up with the song "You Are So Beautiful." I always have a nice warm feeling after watching it, and I am giving this a 4 out of 5.
Very good.
What do you think of this episode's good stuff?
Harvey Firestein is such a wonderful character. I love the message he brings about pumping up Homer. As you said, we all need a Carl in our life, to say that we are fantastic in this brief time we have in this insane, unlikely existence. What I've discovered about myself is that I love the style of the Schwartzwelder, as we've established in this podcast, the barrage of jokes, and there are wonderful jokes in it. But I agree with you, they're kind of fewer than some of those ones that I like more. But I mean, uh, you know, any hair growth will be coincidental.
Yeah.
I'd like a more stable home. How about a pony? And don't sit on that thing 1 second longer. It's amazing. It's a wonderful story written about love and the power of positive influences. But I think I prefer the kind of more intellectual, silly joke barrage, and I gave it a 3. But I
Yeah,
love it.
nice.
But I love this episode.
Yeah, I was teetering between 3 and 4. I gave it a 4 because I picked it.
It doesn't have a lot of those laugh out loud moments. Is
It
the thing,
well, and
I
the
noticed
jokes
that watching
are
it.
situational versus you can just quote it out of the blue.
Right.
Like
Agreed.
you have to speak up because I'm wearing a towel here, or
Right.
I says the Mabels, I says like the line you gave about like don't sit on that filthy thing one moment. I mean that's all tied to the shitty bathroom. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like so it's
Exactly.
not like a standout joke that you can just repeat. I would say like I am nature's greatest miracle is probably like the is something you can definitely repeat. But it
Oh.
is also so early on in the seasons that I think this one just kind of gets forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I watched this morning, I then let it run and watched the episodes after this, probably 4, and I knew them all, but hadn't seen at least 2 of them, maybe
Sure.
3 in a long time.
Yeah.
And so when I finish going through the later seasons, I'm definitely gonna kind of go back and watch some of them as well.
Well, and when I was doing my DVD watches while playing World of Warcraft or any, whatever,
Hmm.
it was usually like seasons 3 through 8 that I would play the most. I
Yeah,
would skip the first couple seasons most
yeah,
often because, it's just a different feel
yeah.
than the later wackier stuff for
Well, and
me.
they start taking more chances later, which leads to just more things that they're able to joke about.
Right.
And that kind of envelope pushing, as we've talked about on this podcast before, is something that I love, love, love about The Simpsons as a social impact, and I'll always love them for that.
And I think the first 2 seasons, the best thing of them is cemented how much the family unit is important to the show.
Hmm.
And once they established that and reinforced it, they were able to really just kind of go off the deep end. Plus, you can only do so many 3-camera sitcom stories about the neighbor, the bully, the boss.
Yep.
Yeah. Right on.
Married with Children did it for what, like 10 seasons.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm piling on Married with Children. I love Married with Children. It was great. it was definitely a one-track pony, and I was one that kind of lost interest after a couple of seasons.
Well, that's a wrap for Sacrilicious with Robin and Snerts. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you didn't, shut the fuck up. If you're feeling generous, then please leave a 5-star review with a few sentences.
And
We are
send
currently on
cash.
Yeah, send money. You ever get that Venmo account set up for us?
Yeah. Hold on, let me do that right now.
There you go. We are currently on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast. My shout outs, happy Canada Day and 4th of July. As I said earlier, it was neat experiencing both Independence Days. Folks who say they will listen to this podcast when I provide them with the QR code in real life, and they actually listen. You know who you are. My siblings and cousins. We don't hang out very often, and I joined our time together in Victoria, British Columbia. When recreating the photo from the 90s, it was kind of a collaborative input, and everybody was able to have their own little bit of a say, so that was super fun. And finally, Dr. Muxford, the raddest fan of them all.
The Doctor.
Do you want to hear more from your old pal Snerts? Then check out the PlayStation Experience on your podcast platform of choice. I can also be found on most of the things at Lord_Snerts. Robin, outro plugs, hit me.
Happy 4th of July, America. We're going through some tough times right now. I had friends who honestly couldn't celebrate. Like one of my good friends stayed home. He's like, hey, there's a lot of traumatic stuff going on in the world right now here in America. But, let's just hope that our fellow Americans can come through this sooner or later stronger. But I want to give a shout out to my chosen family that I got to spend a lot of time with this week. My friends that I know they're the kids, but I've gotten to know the cousins and the parents and the extended family that they have and gotten involved with them, especially the Harrises and the Douglases, who are two of the families that I'm closest with and got to spend this 4th of July with. And happy 80th birthday to my late mother. She would have been 80 years old
very nice.
On July 1st. So happy birthday. I miss you, my mama.
Very nice. Well, our goal is to get the next episode out on July 27th. Robin picked The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace from season 10. And the only quote that I can remember from that one is, "Oh my God, you had the makeup gun on core."
And we really struggled to come up with the name Edison.
Yeah, we totally blanked on Edison as well. I've been blanking on names left and right.
Today we were like, Epstein.
I'm surprised
Einstein.
I'm surprised I didn't start the podcast with "Welcome to Sacrilicious" with, oh, who the fuck are these people again?
Bobby, who? I forget.
Yeah. Bob Barker and Alex Trebek. Oh wait, no, that's not right. All right, man. Well, what's your quote from the episode?
Because mother taught me never to kiss a fool.
Carl.
Now go get him, Tiger.
Woo! I love that scene so much. I had a feeling that was going to be your quote. All right, folks. Well, until next time, smell you later, true believers.
Go get him, Tiger.
Roar!